throughout the 2021-2022 Premier League campaign, I've made many attempts to predict the outcome of this season, of course. But through the brilliance, that is, of course, the World Football site, I've used their fancy calculator to predict the remaining games of the season, to who will actually come out on top as Premier League champions and who will actually go down to the Championship. We'll take a little look at the results coming at you next. Today we're taking a look at my final attempt to predict the outcome of the Premier League campaign. Of course, this weekend sees the biggest game of the season. It is City, it is Liverpool, to basically decide who's going to be champions, of course. We've also got the fact of the relegation and top four matters to be decided. We'll take a look at it, all of it. In a minute, of course, big shout out to my VIPs, other patrons' goals. And if you know where you've been, smash your subscribe button to keep you back to all things Rovers related, Premier League related, world football related. We're all here, boys, under one rooski. So here we go, guys. Here is the prediction table, as of course from the results from the, of course, that fancy calculator over at World Football. If you've never seen one of my reveals like this, we start in the middle of the road, of course, working our way down, of course, and then we'll go to the top end of the table. So let's get into it, of course, reveal what I think will happen in the middle of the road there. Of course, teams that have got nothing to play for, of course, looking forward to next season, that kind of stuff. So we're going to kick it all off with, I think, 11th. That's right. Of course, currently find yourselves Villa are there with 36 points on the board, 3 defeats on the spin for them. They will actually not be there. It'll be Crystal Palace, of course, currently find themselves in 9th. Unbeaten, a nice good bit of form for them, 37 points on the board. They'll end up with 46. Of course, what we're looking at here, how many games left? 8 games left of the season, something like that for the most teams here. I think, if my maths is correct. So picking up a further 9 points to Crystal Palace over the last 8 games of the season, which is not really great. Of course, bit of a wobble there. Of course, maybe some tricky matches to end the campaign for them. Into 12th spot, we do have Newcastle United making the surge from 15th. Of course, 31 points on the board for them. 3 defeats on the spin heading into this game. We're recording this on the 7th of April, of course. So Newcastle picking up a further, what we're looking at here, further 12 points of the remaining 8 games. That's 4 wins, of course, or maybe some draws along the lines as well. So a good strong end to the campaign for Eddie Howe. And of course, next season is where it really will be the fruit of the punch there to see what they'll bring in. Of course, any dramatic changes, of course, they'll be looking at investing in the club to maybe make a top end or top half of the table push next season, of course. Newcastle United in 12th. Into 13th, we have Brentford, of course, showing that they are the real bloody deal, of course. At the moment, winning 3 on the bounce, of course. 3 out of the 4, 33% form for them, 33 points on the board for them at the moment. Of course, 14th spot, of course. As for them, they're picking up to 41 points, which will be a further 8 points over the remaining 7 games. Of course, they have played 31 games as of recording right now, so they are 1 game ahead of the majority of the teams here. But of course, 41 points is enough to be up as high as 13th in there. Next, of course, we have 14th is Southampton. Of course, up and down season for them. Of course, currently find themselves in 12th, 36 points on the board, but without a win in 4 now. Hasselhoff's boys, of course, 36 points they picked up. Just the 3 points they'll pick up for the remaining campaign. That's, of course, 8 games there. Just 3 points picked up over the next stretch, which is pretty woeful. And, of course, what would they do about that? 14th, though, comfortably clear of that relegation fight, which, of course, will be very spicy, as you'll reveal very soon, of course. 14th spot for Hasselhoff's boys. Again, staying in the Premier League is, of course, priority, and they're doing just that. Into 15th, I have Brighton. They currently find themselves in 13th, of course, without a win in a long time. 7 games, I think it was. 5 defeats of the last 6, of course. Pick up a draw last time around against Norwich or somebody. I can't really remember. 34 points as of recording right now. They pick up a further 3 points. Again, just a win, maybe, or 3 draws. I don't know. Again, you'll have to maybe slow down the frame-by-frame stuff at the start of the intro there to find out what I did in that, or you'll see it at the grand scheme of things with the reveal at the end of it. But 37 points, enough to stay in the division by a little bit as well, of course. And again, just pick up a further 3 points for Brighton. Again, being in this division is massive, and of course we'll see what they do in summer for investment wise to maybe challenge, to maybe make a push for the top end of the bottom end next campaign. Remember, Brighton are, of course, have made dramatic progress from, of course, the 4th tier all the way up to the Premier League now. Leeds United will be 16th, of course. Justy Marsh's boys, pretty much as you were, just picking up a further 3 points in this season. Again, 16th spot, a couple of spots above the old drop zone for the time being. They are unbeaten in the last 3 games, pick up a couple couple of wins and a draw, but of course just picking up a further 3 points over the remaining 6 or 7 games, of course, for Leeds United. But of course, next season, again, this will be the second season in the Premier League. Of course, they want to make it a long-term thing here. They want to go back down to the doldrums where they were for a long time. So Leeds United will be content with that, I imagine. But again, 16th spot. But okay, what about the luckiest team alive? Everton, Burnley, Watford, or Norwich? Who's going to get out of it? I'm actually gone Burnley to get out of it. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? What am I bloody doing? I'm actually going to pick up a whole host of points. They do have a couple of games in hand on the likes of Leeds United and a game in hand over the likes of Watford. But 32 points, that's picking up a further 8 points over the last stretch of games. They do come into on the back of that win over Everton. That was a monstrous win as well, 3-2 in, vital win in the grand scheme of things for the race for survival. So Burnley will bloody go down. Burnley will stay up on goal difference, according to my eyes. Everton will go down, level on points with Burnley. That's how tight it is. Air bloody tight. Goal difference the factor on this one. Of course, Everton will go down for the first time in their Premier League history to the Championship. How batshit crazy would that be? 32 points on the board. Just 1 point, might I add, less than Leeds. So Leeds not out of the woods. You know, they're going to have a nervy time at the end of it, but I think they'll just have enough in the tank to get over the line and be here next season. But Everton, with Frank Lampard, unless something dramatic happens over this weekend, over the next couple of games, will they decide to pull the trigger and give someone else the keys to the Goodison Park to save their season? Is the writing on the wall for Frank Lampard? Oh gosh, this would be absolutely catastrophic for a club the size of Everton. However, just look at the likes of Villa, they went down. Look at the likes of Leeds, they went down. Newcastle went down. You know, even Rovers went down. We've all been down there. Sunderland. These are massive clubs. They've all experienced this. And Everton, has it been the writing on the wall for a while now? Of course, they were at the dawn of the Premier League era, a relegation threatened team. They were struggling under Royal and all that kind of stuff. They managed to survive, eventually surging themselves up the table under Moyes and Arteta and not Arteta, but Moyes with his boys, Cahill and all that. But nowadays, even with the big time Charlies they've got there, Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, Pickford, England's number one, could be going down. That would be absolutely dramatic. Meanwhile, joining the wee Woys boys. Again, 32 points on the board for them. I see them do a bit of a dramatic escape. They pick up 10 points out of a possible 18 there. That's a good haul for Woys boys, but it's not going to be enough. They're going to go down on goal difference as well. That's how dramatic it is. 1 point separating, of course, Leeds from Watford. And, of course, joining them will be Norwich, comfortably down. 22 points on the board under Smith Smudgers boys. But that's the bottom end of the table. What about the top end of the table? The race for fourth. The race for the title, of course. So let's take a look at it as we go towards the top end of the table. Starting off with, I think, 10th spot, it'll be Aston Villa. Of course, currently find themselves in 11th spot with 3 defeats on the spin. Not great for them. 37 points on the board. They'll pick up a further 11 points as they enter the back end of the campaign with the last 8 games of the campaign. So picking up 11 points there will be enough for top 10 under CVG's first attempt. Not a full season, of course, here at Villa Park, but of course, a good start to the campaign. And bringing in Coutinho was a fantastic addition to the Premier League, and of course, Aston Villa. And hopefully they can make that a permanent deal or look to extend that loan next campaign. So 10th spot Villa, top half of the table, not too shabby as well. Push for Europe, I think, is on next season under the right managerialship. Next, of course, we have Wolves, currently find themselves in 8th, 49 points, just 1 defeat past 4 for them, looking very, very good. Picking up a further, what we're looking at, 8 points here. Of course, maybe a tail off a little bit at the back end of the season, but again, Bruno Laga's coming in here and taking over from Nuno Espirito Santo. Had a really terrible last season, of course. Laga, of course, was tipped to be very, very good at Benfica. Of course, I think he got the axe quite abruptly. And he was just there for the taking. Wolves did the right thing, took him in. And of course, top end of the season and a 9th spot as well. First campaign in the Premier League, that ain't too shabby. Again, giving hope for Wolves next season that they could be a team that could compete for the Europa Leagues once again. So Wolves, a bit of a damp squib at enter the campaign, picking up just a further 8 points, but again, enough to finish into top 10. Of course, into 8th spot, I have Leicester City. Of course, currently find themselves in 10th. Of course, just 1 defeat past 5 currently. They do have 3 games in hand on the likes of West Ham, Wolves. Above them, of course, from the European adventure, of course, that European adventure has abruptly stopped, of course. But 58 points, I do see them picking up now, which will be a further 21 points. A big surge again. But again, it's not going to be good enough for them. Into 8th. Into 7th spot, we have Manchester United. No way, no how, nowhere near, of course, 4th spot. They've got some zinging games coming up ahead. They've got Arsenal, they've got Liverpool. In a very, very difficult back end of it. And of course, a season that's going to define a lot for for the future of Manchester United. Of course, Rangnick will not be there next season. Looks like Ten Hag could be the man. Ronaldo, is he going to be there next season? Will he wonder what kind of the Ten Hag, or will he go to PSG or some other batshit crazy stuff like that? 7th spot is unheard of for Manchester United. It's absolutely unheard of. And again, with the likes of Varane, De Gea, of all these other bad boys, of course, high-end players. 7th spot for United. It's a bit of a train wreck. That's not Champions League. I don't think it's even the Conference League. That's how bad it is. United, 62 points on the board for them. That is, of course, just a haul of 11 points of the remaining 8 games for them. It's a 6th spot. I have West Ham United. They currently find themselves in 6th. Of course, hot and cold kind of form, winning 3 of the last 5. But of course, they're in the Europa League. They could actually go on and win the Europa League. And of course, that could be a 6th spot and Champions League for them. It could beckon, of course, which would be 2 fingers up to the likes of United. 2 fingers up to, of course, whoever's in 5th spot. Of course, it might even be a 2 fingers up to those in 4th spot if it has a detrimental effect for who actually finishes in 4th. But West Ham 6th. Moyes' boys doing fantastic stuff. Again, not really. They're doing it a very interesting way by picking up talent from the Championship, and it's actually working wonders for them as well. Bargain pickups, of course, an astute bit of scouting over in Europe as well, picking up Sucic over the years, Kufal as well. They've got a nice little team going on there. And of course, Kurt Zouma in the back. Of course, next, of course, we have into 5th spot is Arsenal. Arsenal on 69 points, picking up a further 15 points, but it's not going to be good enough. They do have a game in hand over Spurs. They have a couple of games in hand over West Ham, but again, finishing in 5th, which is Europa League. It's just not going to be good enough for Arsenal. Of course, I think it'll be okay for Arteta. Again, it's progress. It's steady Eddie. They've got some really good bit of talent going on. Odegaard, of course. Ramsdale, of course, stepped up the plate at the moment. Tierney at the back there. They've got a bit of something. They do need to get a new striker in next season to make that push from 5th into 4th once again, because it's there for the taking. It's going to be wide open next season. Of course, Spurs have done great. They're back in the season. They've got a great manager in Conte. They've got Kane, of course, scoring goals, and we'll talk about him in just a second here. But of course, 5th spot for Arsenal is good. It's transition. No more Aubameyang. Lacazette's on his last legs, you'd imagine. They do need a striker. Who's it going to be to be the guy to put them into top 4? Again, 5th will be okay for the time being, but is it going to be enough to lure the big players back to Arsenal? I just don't know. We'll see about that. Into 4th spot, we do have Spurs, 75 points for them. Of course, pick up a further 21 points at the back end of the campaign. They have, of course, played 8 games left. That is a bit of a hauling. 8 games, I don't know, it's 24 points. That's chopping just a small amount of points in the remaining games. But it's going to be good enough, though, for 75 points, and that is going to be 4th spot for Spurs. Son has been fantastic. Kane as well. Conte, of course, they've got them working as a treat, and there is a bit of a vibe here that this could actually steamroll into next season, and they could be a team to watch out for top 3, and maybe even a push for a title if they are going to do this. Kulieski's been fantastic. Bentancur as well, been good additions in the transfer market, and again, not bad prices when you consider some of the players that are going around these days. Good bit of business. Again, keeping hold of Kane will be massive, of course. City have done fantastic this season, and of course, they could actually go on to win, the Premier League here. They could also go on and win on the Champions League, maybe, and they're doing that without a leading striker. And of course, if City were to come calling again, will, of course, Kane jump ship to join that? Of course, that's, of course, to be decided about next season. But 75 points, 4th spot. They've run a good bit of form here. Just 1 feet past 6, looking very, very good for 4th at the moment. Into 3rd, I have Chelsea, of course. They are on 59 points as of recording, just 1 defeat at the past 6. And now, of course, that was against Brentford. They, of course, hot off the press, just lost against Real Madrid in the Champions League as well. 84 points, I see them picking up a whole host of points, I imagine. It's picking up 25 points, I think, over the course of the remaining 9 games I think they got, so that's 27 points. So picking up a lot of points there, but not enough to go for the title. Of course, the title will be decided for the top 2. I'm going to give it to you in straight. That's how I got it. I've got it 2 points separate the top 2 sides, but I have City nicking it, 95 points. I have Liverpool 93. Liverpool have got monstrous games, not only this game this weekend against City, they've also got United. They've got they do have United. They do have Everton as well. So a lot of big rivalries to be decided. They got the rivalry this weekend. They got the rivalry against Manchester United. They've also got the rivalry against Everton. And of course, each one of those will have a little bit of a nibble at Manchester's Liverpool's points haul. Manchester City, though, this weekend, if they can get out of this one without losing, of course, I think it's their title to lose. And again, they could then maybe put focus on the Champions League and maybe make a fantastic double, which will spite a lot of fans, including myself. I don't want to see this. How this table pans out, but that's how I think it will go. Unfortunately, I think City will nick it 2 points clear over Liverpool. But of course, just look how tight it is. What a fantastic back end of the campaign we will have. That is it. And here it is in all its glory. Of course, you can see the win column, the points column, the goal difference, all that kind of stuff in all its glory. It's very, very tight there, of course. I don't see Chelsea losing any games. I see Liverpool losing one. I see City losing none. Of course, and I see... what about down the further table there? What do I see there? I don't see any more. I see one win for Norwich. I see a couple wins there for Watford. Quite a few wins for Burnley, and just what have we got there? Actually, quite a few wins for Everton as well. So it's going to be spicy stuff as we enter the back end of the campaign. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about that. Also, make sure you smash your thumbs up. It does wonders for the old algorithm. Smash your subscribe as well. It does wonders for the old algorithm as well. And also make sure you drop your opinion in the comment section as well, so you get more content just like this. And I know what you think about the season as well. Do you think, of course, it'll be City's or Liverpool's? Or what about the race to the top four? Is there any hope for the likes of West Ham or Arsenal to do it naturally, of course? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. But until then, dudes, we're done right now.